This is Cheap Seats.
Vinny Romeo.
Luca after Palmer.
Hilarious.
Il before star.
Hilarious.
Hey kids, welcome to Cheap Seats. You know, puberty can be a tough time for anyone. Right, Jeff?
I don't know, it's all right.
Wrong, Jeff. It's a nightmarish war zone of hormones and humiliation, like an evening out with this woman. And sometimes the only way to cope with it is to sing a song about it.
From Charlie Chaplin to Abraham Lincoln, puberty gives you awesome facial hair. Remember little Susie who you found to be icky suddenly makes you feel good down there.
And that's what today's show's all about. Puberty. Today we have our own very special tweener episode of Cheap Seats. Later in the show, we'll take you out to the 1989 Double Dutch Championships, but we kick things off with the Kids Putt-Putt National Finals from 1999 in Orlando, Florida.
Putt-Putt certainly is a game for all ages, and last year, 12...
And Harry Potter leads Gryffindor to yet another victory over Slytherin.
National championship. After falling...
It's like outdoor Scrabble, only less exciting and more nerdy.
Mounted an amazing comeback.
Yes, we are victorious. Huzzah!
The kids of Ypsilanti are back.
Freeze it. And at age 43, Eugene Cranis finally achieved his dream of making the putt-putt team. Mini John Daly. And a Shetland Mini John Daly.
Ypsilanti up onto the tee box next. James Mangan.
I tell you, he is a...
How much do you want to bet the design for the iron-on decal was this girl's idea?
Coach, and he's a real concentrated putter.
He's a concentrated putter. What the hell does that mean? If you add water to him, he can make up to 12 putters.
With the ace for Team Ypsilanti. That puts them up.
Is Richmond's E for effort? Is this one of those things where every kid's going to get a trophy at the end? I hate that.
While we were...
Whoa, scoliosis. No, she just grew 3 inches overnight, and they didn't have time to get her a new putter.
Here with the ace on 4.
Yeah, Dave, Mary is a great little putter, you know.
Could you be more condescending?
1993.
And James
Gallery growing.
Number 6. Kyle Farley.
You know, Dave, we talked about the rhythm a little bit.
I think somebody needs a bathroom break.
That these kids are alternating shots, which...
Oh, missed it way wide left. What the...
Ooh, with the ace, banking it off the back rail there, going into the back door.
Now can I go to the bathroom? No.
Makes you get a little nervous when that ball is rocking back to the hole.
Well, we've talked to these kids all weekend. They are nervous, but having a good time.
Like David Crosby at a pharmaceutical convention.
As she tries to pull...
How tall is she? 6'10". Can she dunk? No, and that's what's weird.
It's been playing this whole off the banking here this week, Scott.
Yeah.
Well, don't be mad at them. They're just kids.
And she's fairly new at the game. And, oh, just a little bit.
Now maybe they'll send me to drama camp.
And again, we have a lot of golf to still play here. Stephen Jones is going to come up and see if he can't make the par for Richmond.
Or perhaps to see if he can make the par for Richmond. Snapper!
And he does it.
What's this dude wearing around his neck? Was he in Nam? Either that or it's his medic alert necklace. He's probably allergic to peanuts. And girls. That is a tough shadow to deal with. Will someone please tell Ben Wallace to take a few steps to his right? Uh-oh, swift boat flashback.
Talked about. These are kids under a lot of pressure right now, and probably a lot of it they don't necessarily...
Wait, freeze it. Now, I think I know why this guy's moving the ball away from the rail, but I'd feel more comfortable if someone could give me a way too long explanation.
I notice here, Dave, that was one of our pros that was coming out there to measure the distance from the rail. There's a prescribed distance that if the ball leans up against the rail, the ball needs to be moved out from the rail. It allows for the putter to move back and give the player an opportunity to hit the ball. And that was what that action was going on there. But now
Thank you.
the shadows, too.
Whose little brother is this? Yeah, he so wants to be at home right now playing Grand Theft Auto.
Too well here.
This is about 6 feet.
Oh.
Tommy Stimson, not quite.
Tommy Stimson?
Missing.
The guitarist from The Replacements. I knew he was young, but...
For Mary Walkley.
No, Mary did a real good job last year.
Okay, that must be her coach. Let's listen in. All right, be the ball.
But if I'm the ball, then I'll go in the hole. Shouldn't I be the club?
Fine, be the club. See if I care, Amy.
It's Mary.
I don't think she wants to be here right now.
That makes 3 of us.
Stepping in, trying to give her a little bit of advice, some wisdom. His son Patrick doing very
She has no idea what she's doing right now.
Some of that here on Mary. Let's see if she can make this fairly significant putt here.
Yes, the future of our country depends on it.
She's at an odd angle because of the rail. She can't really get her shoulders over the ball.
Oh.
And that's it's a tough miss. This
Oh, Mary, it's a shame you'll have to die now.
Oh, last year, it looks as though it's repeating, not what they wanted to do. And Scott,
He'll make it.
one thing you have to
What?
consider,
Looks like Ypsilanti, Ipsa can't see, folks. Nice. More like Whoopsilanti. Who's with me, folks? Okay, I'm definitely not with you. What a Gypsilanti, folks.
Get it in the hole, or you got some tough second shots. And here's the 5th one.
Just pick it up, kids.
She missed
There goes my mini golf scholarship to EMU.
could be a big swing.
Since we are watching kids compete, we'd like to take this time to discuss the important issue of parents pushing their kids in sports. Listen up, parents. These kids are trying their best, and we feel like it's up to you to tell them that their best just isn't good enough. Sure, you push your kids to focus on winning to an unhealthy level, but are you pushing them enough? Not if that kid isn't winning. You know how many kids went on Prozac last year because their parents pushed them too far? Not enough. It's not a matter of trying to live through your kids. It's the more tragic possibility that if they fail, you will have to come to terms with your own failure as an athlete and as a parent. And that can't happen. Push them, people. Push them with everything you've got.
The views expressed by Randy and Jason do not necessarily represent the views of Randy and Jason, but they do represent the views of this man.
You can't be doing that 25 times a day, Jeff. You didn't think about that, did you, Jeff? No, you didn't, did you? But that's okay. Because that's what puberty and today's show are all about, Jeff. Growing up, Jeff. Jeff, when you do so, you'll find that in the end, you'll learn a lot more about yourself. But in moderation, Jeff. More than you ever imagined, Jeff. Let's get back to the action, Jeff.
Through 8, Ypsilanti is leading by only 2 shots now. Perhaps we'll see.
Where's this shot coming from? Yao Ming shoulder cam?
9. This is Mandy Taylor.
Oh, Mandy, you came and you aced without shaking, but we set you away. Oh, Mandy, that was awful.
Didn't look too happy about that one.
Not quite, and as we've seen all too often this week,
Slower.
doesn't quite make it. It rolls back and leaving the person to clean it up with.
Who's her stance coach, Jim Edmonds?
Summy trying to make up that distance, about 5 feet,
And Shetland Janis Joplin with the par. Of course she sunk it. She's got a 3-hole course buried in her hair.
overcoming some of the nerves that they displayed early on.
I think they are, and she knows that was a big putt for her team.
Which one of these putts isn't big? Come on, announcers, control your adjectives.
Well, for Team Ypsilanti, this brings us to Patrick.
Where's this shot coming from? Earl Boykin's shoulder cam?
And he does it with
Yes!
ace.
He also came in first in the Crispin Glover haircut pageant.
This is Mandy Taylor. See,
Whoa, Mandy, well, you came and you missed every tee shot, and you've ruined our day, oh, Mandy.
Disappointment for Mandy. I know each one of these kids hopes to make an ace on every...
Slower.
When you have obstacles like this.
Now, sometimes Amy now is getting up to the ball and...
Not a lot she can do with this lead.
And try and get it up close to the hole.
But she could have done more than that. She's not even trying.
About having to hit that ball very hard to be able to double...
Little big country into mop up.
Do it, setting up a similar shot that we saw with Team Ypsilanti. This is Stephen Jones hoping to...
Stephen Jones. Yeah, like that's his real name. I'm sure all these kids have motel aliases. It's standard for the putt-putt circuit. All right, fast forward.
Really looking at the overall score to see who's going to win this thing.
Richmond with the advantage, leading on the back.
Somebody want to get those bricks off the course? They're kind of in the way.
As we go now to the final hole, 18. Team Richmond first to the tee. This is Mandy Taylor. And you've got...
I think old Mandy needs to take out some of her frustrations on the putting range. And by putting range, I mean her little sister.
A chink in the armor here for Team...
Mandy may look like a big loser here, but in the mid-90s, there were bigger losers in the world of mini-golf. That's right, Ren. When an agreement between local mini-golf courses and the JPA couldn't be reached in the summer of '95, all junior teams decided to lock out their putters. They kept the league going by bringing in scabs. This is the story of two brothers, bitterly divided. One a JPA All-Star, the other a scab. One stuck in the sand trap, the other sitting pretty on the green. One... Randy? With a fairway wood, the other with a wedge. Just rolled a piece.
You know, not many 14-year-olds have seized glory on the hollowed links of the putt-putt course, but I am that man who was that boy.
He's one of the greatest putters of all time, if you really want to break it down of all the players that have played this game.
I think I knew it was a big deal when I saw Rachel Kopecky watching me at the 16th hole at Lincoln Hills. I double-banked a hole-in-one off the back wall, and she waved at me. Rachel Kopecky. Life was sweet before the strike.
With a collective bargaining agreement in place and no salary cap, many questioned why the Junior Putters Association would strike at that time.
They made us use colored balls. And you tell me, would you play golf with blue balls?
With their top players on strike, the JPA turned to scab putters. One scab in particular really drew Craig's ire.
I can understand why he was upset. I mean, putting was my brother's life. It was like, for him, having that go down the way it did, that was like when Silver Surfer got banished by Galactus. But I know one thing. When I saw Rachel Kopecky waving at my brother, my was crossing that picket line.
The strike was settled within weeks, but that was long enough for Carter, through his stellar play, to take Craig's spot on the team. And soon, Rachel Kopecky was waving her hand at another bogey, Carter Bogey.
I'm proud of the time I spent as a sanctioned strike golfer. Not a scab, mind you. Sanctioned strike golfer. All right? I mean, I hit 7 holes in one in a row, which, I mean, Craig never did that. So, sorry.
He was wearing his celebrity so outwardly that he became a very polarizing kind of figure. You know, I mean, people either just hated him because he was a hot dog or loved him because of his style.
Craig and Carter Bogey hadn't spoken in 12 years, but in the spring of 2003, they met again at a putt-putt charity event for Rachel Kopecky, who had been injured in a tragic waving accident. Things were tense until a revelation at the 9th hole.
I just leaned over the ball and said to myself, John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, couldn't make this putt.
and I was floored. I was like, you read Justice League of America?
And then suddenly, it was like we were 12 again, and the strike never happened.
Forgiveness is a big emotion. I mean, when you forgive people, you're able to grow. You learn from your mistakes.
Tell you the truth, I'm glad it happened. I mean, my life may not be perfect now, but at least I got my brother back.
Honestly, Craig's a massive downer. I'd be totally cool not seeing that bitter for another 12 years. Oh, man.
Dude, what the f***? I'm right here. Damn it, you're such an asshole.
They said, wow.
Them for it.
Just the facts. Do you care?
Do you care that in 1929 mini golf courses were set up on roofs of office buildings in New York City for work-weary employees? Do you care that McDonald's, Holiday Inn, and Putt Putt became 3 of the nation's first franchise roadside businesses? Do you care that the JPA was started by Don Clayton as he lay in a hospital bed after heart surgery in 1972? Jeez. The guy has a near-death experience and that's his vision? Hey, some people see God, some people see Mini John Daly playing mini golf. Who are we to judge? Whoa, what do you mean, who are we to judge? We actually get paid to pass judgment on people. That's what we do. Okay, you're right. All right, it was a stupid vision. Thank you. Can I have my paycheck, please? Jesus. Roll of nickels. Good times. Good times.
No pressure here on Team Ypsilanti, is there?
Why is that funny? Because there is pressure on Ypsilanti. I still don't get it.
He needs an ace. Here, no pressure at all, Scott.
Hilarious.
Put it in the hole on 1 to get his team.
Oh, is that what an ace is? Good thing we're getting down the jargon at the end of the match.
Not a bad shot, but just a little strong.
Like the BO on the Ypsilanti bus after a long deodorantless day on the putt-putt course.
Some hugs there for Team Ypsilanti, some consolation hugs.
So Ypsilanti just lost the Civil War of putt-putt. Way to represent the Union, guys.
And if you are watching this at home and you want to come out and try some of these shots, go to your local putt-putt. The holes are the same every place.
So this has just been one big infomercial for putt-putt.
Try some of these shots from these angles.
Freeze it. You think things are bad for the Ypsilanti kids? Check out this guy. He bet on Ypsilanti and he lost his shirt and his shoes. And perhaps saddest of all, his ability to be served.
This is a tough little putt she's got coming up, and
she honestly just does not care anymore about anything.
11-year-old, these kids, Kyle.
Okay, maybe I should ask her out now that she's vulnerable. Yeah, just fix my hair and she's mine.
Fun with her friends, and there's always next year. When you're 11, there is always a next year.
Especially when your name is Danny Almonte.
You'll see Patrick here really wanting to make this and finish it up.
Yeah, he wants to get home in time for Farscape.
Shot up to the plateau.
Mick Falls. Mick, yes.
Have the bogey, but Team Richmond, an incredible comeback on the back 9. They do win.
Is this the type of future I can expect?
Overall, by beating
Richmond, of course, will be enjoying the traditional celebratory yoo-hoo shower in the clubhouse. Ew. Question. Is there anything funnier than Dorf on golf?
Yeah. Mini Dorf on mini golf. He's 10 times funnier because he's 10 times shorter.
Science has proven that.
It's Mini Dorf on mini golf. Flurgity flurgin. Ooh.
Mini Dorf on mini golf is not available anywhere.
Hey, welcome back to our very special tweener episode of Cheap Seats. Let's shift gears in our final segment. Now, to some of you, Double Dutch means going out to dinner with Rick Smits and his brother and having to pay for your meal. But to us, it's rope jumping, it's dancing, it's the sport of queens. So without further ado, let's head to Boca Raton on the eve of the Double Dutch finals. Take it away, former game show host David Sparks. Start walking now.
Pam, Larry, we have come to the end
Paul
of a very
Simon?
long day.
Whoa, Garfunkel has changed a bit.
Teams were at the breakfast table at 7 o'clock this morning.
Yes, we definitely were.
Somebody in this shot's overdressed.
And if my math serves me, that's 13 hours of very hard work and an exciting day for sure. Pam, your teams did.
I'm just going to keep talking right over you.
In fact, didn't you break at least 2 records?
Yes, we did. We had 2 high school teams to break world records in the speed today, Black Magic and Master Jazz. And
I saw Black Magic and Master Jazz open up for Run DMC. Really? Where? On VH1.
Freestyle was your event today, Larry. Yours and your teams did very well.
Yes, thank you. We're very happy with that.
My mother said I would never amount to anything, but just look at me now.
We'll find out later in the evening.
Speed was the big event today, eh?
Yes, it seems.
Okay, the bottom line is you...
Who would play Larry in the movie version of this segment? Paul Newman? The Sting Paul Newman? Older. Road to Perdition Paul Newman? Split the difference. Color of Money Paul Newman? Bingo.
we're going to have a meeting of the minds, and we're going to talk about the errors that we made, and we're going to go back and we're going to take a hard...
And an unnecessary pushback into her face. Are the kids working this camera?
And come in ready.
Get a little rest as well.
Get
huh?
a little rest.
Okay. How about you, Larry? I noticed that you were talking to some of the judges. Apparently there was a dispute.
Yes, there was a dispute in our freestyle.
My mother said never stop disputing things, and that's what I'm gonna do.
We're going to work on a dance step this evening, have them ready for tomorrow.
May I take this last moment of this evening to wish you both very well tomorrow and want to ask if you want to say anything to each other.
I love you. Oh, this is awkward.
Tomorrow morning at the ropes and make the best.
See you at the ropes. That sounds kind of cool.
May not be so friendly tomorrow. Anyway, good luck to both of you. I'm going to bed. Thank you so much.
I think that's how Walter Cronkite used to sign off the nightly news. And as they parted ways, one thing was for sure. They both believed Sparks to be a total tool.
When it comes to freestyle, this team out of Henderson, Utah is so good
that they're almost guaranteed a life in the Mormon circus. Just ask their 28 moms.
they're known as the Henderson Hop.
The what?
Our attraction is young Jared Owen, a 7th grader who is a magnificent athlete. As you
Yes, he is magnificent. The Ozzie Smith of Double Dutch. I wonder if Tanya, Megan, and Jared hang out when they're not jumping rope. You know, just sit around, play some records, maybe do a cucumber mask, talk about what boys they like.
performs flawlessly under the pressure of competition.
Wow, this team must have had a big budget to be able to afford Jonathan from Who's the Boss. Does he have Stickum on those gloves? Lester Hayes. This isn't the same Jared from the Subway commercials, is it? If it is, he's really lost a lot of weight.
Don't try doing this unsupervised at home, folks.
And boys, don't try doing this at school either, because you will get beat up.
Fabulous.
Jared's words exactly. Fabulous. Yes, yes. Yes, in your face.
We have come to that part of the competition that we refer to as the Double Dutch Championships. And over my shoulder,
I think that's double negative. Like in the Super Bowl shuffle when they said, we ain't here to start no trouble. I mean, were they or weren't they there to start trouble? If I put a shrinky-dink in the microwave, would I go back in time? I wonder.
This is Black Magic High School.
Watch it,
Tell
Campanis.
that the older jumpers are
This is a really pleasant routine. Wait a minute. What the hell? Okay, this just got weird. I've heard about that move on Taxi Cab Confessions. Now I'm beginning to understand why they started the show with Jared. Yes. Wake up, dude. Does nothing excite you? They just taxi cab confessioned it. Underneath and not quite.
Jumping over in the ropes. And a nice exit.
Are they still going? No, this is just for them.
Obviously.
Are they still going? Yep. And even this part is better than Jared. Yes. Wow. Okay, that was definitely cooler than I thought it was going to be. I feel like the Double Dutch kids were way less wedgie-worthy than the mini golf kids. Unless, of course, you were this Double Dutch kid. Yes. I now have a new reason for us to build the time machine. The old reason, of course, was so that we could go back to 1977, go on the Gong Show and breakdance before anyone had ever heard of it. New reason, I want to go back to 1989 and give a wedgie to this kid. Yes. Me too, but until we get the flux capacitor fluxing again, we're just going to have to settle for giving out some cheapies. Cheapie for least valuable shot, I gotta give mine to the entire Ypsilanti team on hole 7. They're like the 2004 men's Olympic basketball team, minus the expectations. I'm gonna go with this shot. Way too long, way too awkward, and poorly lit. It's like a Project Greenlight film with more believable dialogue. Well, that's our show, and I don't know about you, Jay, but I'm having a real hard time ending the show on puberty. Well, you know what I like to do when I have a hard time with anything? Lay down in the shower in the fetal position and cry, and...
Sing a song?
No, Jeff. I like to sing a song.
Puberty is good, it's free, everybody should, everybody needs. Puberty is beautiful, it'll suit you, soon you'll see. I hope you dig it, kids, as much as